What's up, folks?
Hey.
You are tuned in. Oh man, this is terrible. What's up, folks? You are tuned into the Failing Frequency. I am Ethan,
And I'm Mike.
and we like talking about Star Trek.
We do, and it's been a while, but what are we
It's
talking
been a
about this
while.
week? It's
We're
been a
talking
while.
about the first three episodes of season 5, the final season of Star Trek
Star
Discovery.
Trek Discovery.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What are the episodes called? There's three of them. I can't be
Um,
expected to remember three episodes. I have
I
a
know.
baby.
Red Directive, Under Twin Moons, and Jinaal.
Jinaal.
I had to look up Jinaal right before
Oh
we
yeah,
did this because I was
he
like, what the
was
fuck was it?
Janal was the person.
He was the person. He was the thing.
He was
Yeah.
slug. He was the slug.
Hmm.
He
Yeah,
was
that
the
kind of slug.
slug. Right back on the saddle. For
Yeah.
people listening to this and not watching the video, I just made a perfect hand signal to represent a slug.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh,
Um, but yeah, somewhat because we've been a while, let's say, and we've got 3 episodes to do in one. This week we're not going to do any news.
yeah, there's too much
Um,
news. There's too much news.
there's
I
too
mean,
much news.
what could we talk about? Like right quick. Paramount
Being
have
shit still.
continued their streak of being really terrible at being a
Yeah.
streaming service. They released Prodigy.
En
Well, no,
français.
they didn't release it, but they weren't paying attention when they made a contract with a
Mm,
French TV channel. And so
yeah.
they released Prodigy. When they were like, "What are you doing? You can't release it yet." And they were like, "Actually, I think you'll find we fucking can." Um, ha he
I think they
ha.
might have. I might think they might have got the dates the wrong way round. American dates versus US
Oh
dates.
my God, that would be
Imagine.
amazing. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But what else?
Yeah.
What else? What else has Paramount been up to? What else has Star Trek been up to?
I
Fucking.
don't think much. They had the cruise not that long ago.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I don't think much came of that or was shown there
Nah.
or anything like that.
Um.
Um, First Contact Day just passed us a couple of days ago.
Came and went.
Yeah.
We got more Star Trek dolls.
Ooh, like Expo
I
9 or
I
whatever they are.
I'm a loose cannon.
Mm.
I'll say anything. You know what I'm like. I'll say anything. Oh,
Loose.
Section 31. They
Oh,
actually
yeah.
we said they wouldn't do it. We said it would never happen. You more than anyone.
Yeah.
How do you feel
Hasn't
about
come
that
out yet.
happening? Hasn't come out
Hasn't
yet, but
come
they
out
finished
yet.
filming. How do you feel about that?
I feel semi foolish, but it could always go the way of a Warner Brothers product and, disappear off servers.
It could. It could be a tax write-off the whole time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't put it
In
past
fact, have you
Paramount.
seen the? I don't know if it's a spoil. Well, it is a spoiler, but I think it's been officially released. The time period Section 1 is happening in. Um, so spoiler skip forward. I don't know, a minute. Say if you don't want to know anything about Section 31, but it's the only thing that's made me interested in it. Also cast in the show that was revealed is the captain of the Enterprise C.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting. Set
it
during the
is.
is she gonna be? It's gonna be her when she's younger, so it's not gonna be set during
Yeah.
the lost period.
No.
Is that what they call it?
Well, it's still lost period, isn't it? I suppose because it'll still be after undiscovered country before TNG.
Will it? Cool, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, of
Only
course
thing
it
that's
will.
made me
Of
interested
course it
about it.
will. Because it's
It's
after
after the
blooming
Enterprise B.
yeah. Maybe it'll be set during bloody Ferris Bueller's Mate.
Bueller. Yeah, it'll come out
Yeah.
on Wednesday. There we
We
go.
got a shot of Spock in a super cool space outfit. I'm not even joking. I think that looks sick. Um,
Are these the dolls?
no, it's shot from the set of Strange New Worlds.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Um, A whole
Yeah,
bunch of other shit. Just a whole
whole
bunch
bunch
of
of other stuff.
nonsense. There's been all sorts. It's been so long. Star Trek
Yeah,
4 may or may not be happening even harder. Um,
it's not going to happen.
you know,
It's not
Zoe
happening
Saldana saying, I still hold out hope for a Star Trek
for a
4.
paycheck,
Yeah,
for another
exactly. She
paycheck,
was like, yeah,
please.
because if they want you, they have to pay a fucking ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah,
So,
the highest paid ever, I think, or the highest earning actress ever because of the avatars
because of
and
Avatar.
and Guardians and Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
so
yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Not gonna
Nah,
happen.
I hope not.
No.
Like, but then there's that other one that's supposed to be a prequel to that, and it's set before, and it's like, stop with the prequels and the sequels and the pre-sequels and the interquels. Honestly, just give us a workplace mockumentary sitcom set
We've
on a
got lower
space
decks for
station.
that. Got lower decks that does
No, I want
mocky
it
stuff.
like The Office. You know, I've always told you about my idea for a Star
Mm.
Trek parody. Make it like The Office.
They'll have an office episode, lower decks.
Yeah.
They'll
Lower
they'll
Decks
they'll
might
get round to
start
it.
Strange New Worlds might. Me and my partner were talking about this the other day. They've done a musical episode, and like of the big three silly episode tropes that they could do.
Yeah, fantasy done.
No, so we've got what comes after musical, cartoon. What's next?
I don't know.
Muppets.
Muppets, felt a lot of felt.
Gotta be done. Gotta be
Yeah.
done, man. Oh man, I'll
Mm.
show you. I'll show you my Muppet. I'll show you my. Yeah. Do you want to see my Muppet? Uh,
This is where we have a cutaway card that is like not not safe for work.
no. So I've my little baby Waxana. She
Yeah.
loves things happening. That's babies for you. They like it when they like it when there's a party, and
Yeah.
this is one of the little. And I do a voice. So this is Fredo, and he says, "Hey, little baby, how you
Oh my
doing? How
god.
about a little kiss? Mwah. Hey, stop grabbing my eyeballs!
Oh dear.
Ah,
Oh dear.
stop eating my eyeballs!" That's usually what he says. Um, Whoa, hey, why are you screaming at me? I didn't eat your food. That was Papa.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm a father, so you got to do
Yeah.
fun little accents for the baby.
I mean, yeah, you've got to.
Yeah. Gotta do fun little accents. I'm Papa. I change a lot of nappies, so I'm also Papa Poops.
Mhm.
Papa Poops and Mama Milks. It's
Yeah.
cute.
Very, very. It's a bit worrying when you still do it when the baby's not there.
I mean, not when the baby's no, I don't change anyone else's nappies. I don't change anyone's nappy when the baby's not around. Um,
You're not
you
wearing a
know,
nappy now.
no, no, honest. You can't prove that I am. If anyone says that I am, they're fucking lying.
They're insane. They're insane.
They're insane. They're
Yeah.
insane.
Mm,
They are
they
crazy.
are.
But yeah, Star Trek babies, um,
Yeah.
uh, stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah,
But
man.
should we go and talk about the episodes? And we've
Yeah, man.
decided to only do spoilers because we are lazy and we've got so many to talk about.
Yeah, yeah, man. I mean,
Um,
they released 2 episodes last week, and like
yeah.
I had like getting the episodes watched planned out
Mm,
in like breaks at work, and then it turned out there was 2 episodes, and no.
wasn't going to happen for us.
Yeah, man, that extra 54 minutes just
Ruined everything.
just ruined my butthole. Uh,
babies. Damn it, ruiners.
so
So I'll do the a spoiler description of episodes 1 and 2 together. Then we can
mhm,
talk about those, and then we'll go on to episode
mhm.
3. But if you want to skip to the episode of the week, it's in the times of the things and then
Yeah, man,
description or whatever. Cool.
give it to me.
Right. Kovic sets the Discovery on a Red Directive mission to recover an unnamed MacGuffin from a 24th century Romulan science vessel. The MacGuffin has already been collected by two looters called Mol and Lack. Michael chases them and ends up standing on top of their ship while it's in warp. They nearly get an assist from new season regular Captain Rayner on the USS Antares, but the looters escape and shoot dozens of decoy buoys so the Discovery can't follow. Kovic brings in Buck for his experience as a smuggler to help them rule out the DK, decoy buoys. Can't say it.
It's a hard one.
It is
D boy quiz.
decoy buoys, and find where the ship went. Michael, Buck, and Rayner go on a joint mission down to the planet to catch Mo and Lack before they sell their stuff, but they've already killed their dealer, a Soong-type android, who's given them a clue on where they should head next on this treasure hunt. Michael, Buck, and Rayner chase them on sand sleds, but when Mol and Lack are going to escape for a mountain range, Rayner calls down an orbital strike, destroying the entrance of the caves. Mol and Lack think that was a cool effect and decide to do the same. Thankfully, Starfleet saves the day, does whatever, but they escape. We also have a recording of the android seeing the MacGuffin, which is revealed to be the Holy Grail diary from Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Michael goes to Kovic and demands to be brought in on what they're looking for, which is, and he tells her it's a Romulan scientist from 800 years ago, the TNG episode The Chase, and it's to recover the technology of the progenitors who made all life in the known universe. That was episode 1.
God, that
Episode
was a
2,
lot. Sorry,
I
that was a
know,
lot. That was a
I fucking
lot.
know.
That
I
all happened in the first episode.
Yeah, I really
Holy
tried to cut that
fuck.
down, and I was just like, I don't know how I can cut it down anymore. These get shorter and shorter as
Jesus.
they go on, thankfully. Episode 3, it's just a tiny block. Um, Episode 2, Rayner gets put on trial for blowing up a mountain, and Michael covers for him until he tells her not to. Vance tells Michael a bit about his backstory, that he's a competent war officer from the burn, but times have changed and he's not needed anymore and going to be made to retire. Because the Discovery has a copy of the Grail Diary, they know what planet to head to. Michael and Saru head down to the planet, and which activates some defense thing. Saru distracts the drones while Michael destroys the thing, whatever, the drone head thing. They
The
continue and
balls.
find the balls.
The
Um,
balls.
Michael and Saru find a Romulan poem describing the next planet they should head to. And the haiku is missing a line. So Mol and Lack have head to the wrong planet next week. Saru has a touching scene in which he says he's going to leave the Discovery, a supposedly touching scene I've written, because he's going to marry Tarina. The end. That's
Sorry, could you
episodes 1 and
repeat
2.
all of that?
No,
Ay,
I've
ay,
even
ay.
I've even missed the last paragraph of my description there for that one because I was just like, I don't
I
this,
don't, yeah, no, God, there's so much. So much. It's
Well, it's a
almost.
big setup for the season, isn't it?
We're
Because
both
that
doing the
first
same
episode
thing.
has to do big
We
leap.
for those listening to the
I know,
book, we're both like,
yeah,
giving each other, we're giving each other a facelift. That's not what I'm trying to
yeah.
say. I have a child. Um, it's, it almost seems as though the storylines
Mm,
that will be carrying through this series are having to be truncated somehow, for purposes of smushing extra content into this series, because that's definitely what's happened. If for those who don't know, this series wasn't originally going to be the last series. A lot of
Mm,
people think that this was going to be just series 5 and that series 6 was going to be the last series, but Paramount, in one of their masterstrokes of being really good, being a really good streaming service, just like fucking we're like, yeah, no, do some reshoots and kill it.
yeah, because
Um,
they'd
eh,
finished filming the whole season, hadn't they?
yeah, they'd finished filming the
Madness.
whole season and then they had to go back and do reshoots in order to round everything off. And I think a lot
Yeah.
of that was probably a lot of it was ADR. And
Mm,
there was a couple of moments in the more recent episode, but in these first two episodes, it was just exposition, exposition, exposition. I don't know
yeah.
about you, but some of the dialogue was so
It
just
was heavy. It was very heavy. As I said, I have cut those episodes down for that description so much. It's ridiculous. I didn't mind it in the first episode, or I didn't even notice it. I've just thought, we're setting up a big season. In the second episode, when Buck knows instantly, he looks at a picture of Moll and goes, "Oh, that's Cleveland Booker's daughter."
mm,
It feels like that which happened in a minute was probably going to be last a bit longer, maybe.
yeah, maybe there would be a bit of what's your thing,
Yeah,
a bit of delayed gratification.
yeah,
Ooh. It was things like when the balls were flying around, it was a lot of like, wow, this these balls are still really good technology for being a few billion years old, created by a race of people who may or may not have created all life in the universe.
yeah.
And then Michael
Well,
Burnham
it's
just
it's
being
not even
like,
the people who created the universe,
"You
whatever.
think?"
Yeah,
Like some of the dialogue, it reminded me a lot of like some of the more naff dialogue of like Stargate SG-1,
how dare
where
you?
you know what I mean, where like Daniel
Yeah,
Jackson would be like, "Oh, these hieroglyphs, this
mm,
this this fucking these hieroglyphs talk about
yeah,
an evil planet killing snake cannon,
yeah,
who people used to think was a god, but is actually a fucking spaceship." And then O'Neill goes, "Well, that's nice."
yeah. I don't
There
feel
was
like they've
so much of
compressed much
that in this episode.
from the main two plots though. I don't know if they've compressed much because that episode, the going down to the planet and running away from drones and stuff like that, logically has to fit in an episode.
Yeah,
So I just think it's poor
totally.
writing on that front.
I
I
don't
think it's the
think.
stuff around that
Yeah,
where they're on the ship and it's just like, and now Rayna's on your ship, and now this is
yeah.
happening. That feels very compressed.
The first episode going to that other planet,
Mm,
I kind of feel like that was maybe an episode 2 thing.
yeah, quite possibly.
Originally, going to the other planet was maybe an episode 2 uh,
Mm,
jobby, and that
mm,
maybe just like chasing Doll and Marv.
yeah,
Um, what are they called?
Honey Bunny and
Honey Bunny and Ringo. Um,
yeah,
chase, having a bit of a chase with them
mm,
was gonna be episode 1. Um,
yeah.
and I also feel like there was a noticeable lack of any Rainer on his ship.
Oh yeah, because they don't want to build a set that is
Well, but
because
they
the
don't have
Discovery
to.
still
They
looks like
have
the
another
Discovery.
set. They have another
They
set.
don't.
They have the
Well, they've
fucking.
got the Federation headquarters
They've
thing.
got the Federation
That's
headquarters.
Starbase.
They've got the bridge of the Enterprise, and they've probably still
Yeah, they
got
can't put
like,
him on the Enterprise.
yeah, and
We'll talk about that later, though. We'll talk about that later.
and they've got the they've probably still got like parts of the Shenzhou.
No, because that was built on. They replaced that, I think, with the actual Discovery Bridge.
Oh, is it? Oh
Yeah,
well. They've still got other bits. They've got bits and bobs.
yeah.
They've got
They
bats
could
and
have filmed
bits.
him up against like in Federation headquarters or something like that, but
Yeah,
it's just
they could
a
have filmed him on the bridge of the Titan.
well, the depends which Titan. The first Titan. Oh no, not it wasn't the Titan. The ship Riker was on in the first season of Picard was the Discovery Bridge again, just from a
Yeah,
different angle,
yeah, yeah. Hey
and
man, that's
people rinsed them
cinematography
for
for you.
that.
That's
Yeah.
cinematography for you, man. That's that depth of field, baby.
Yeah.
Pull the camera
Yeah.
back, zoom in, low f-stop.
Blurry backgrounds.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's
I think anyway, this season feels like it's chugging on very fast, and it's kind
yeah.
of third episode as well. But there are five pieces, I think, of this hidden artifact thing or key,
Oh,
whatever it is.
there's 5 stops on the fetch quest.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
which is what it is because it feels very whichever Star Wars it was, Rise of Skywalker, where it's go to get a thing, get a key to get a thing, to get a diamond, to
Or
get a
like the
knight,
last
to get a
any series of the Mandalorian.
yeah.
Um, or
But it's 10 episodes, and you kind of already know how the plot's going to go. In that they're not going to get to all the things first, so Mol and Lack need to get to one first. Um, then there needs to be a how are we going to catch up to them episode. Then they catch up. Then they both arrive at the last one at the same time. So it feels it's very prescriptive, you know, at the season because you kind of know that they need to collect five things, and because it's a race between two teams, you can't just constantly have the Discovery ahead. It's got to be a
mm,
bit more rivalry.
yeah, which they have managed to do. You know, they had the Marv and Jim getting
Yeah,
finding the Romulan haiku first
yeah,
and then doing one. But then they go, oh, actually, I found the secret fifth stanza and the chunk.
ooh,
We
yeah,
got the chunk, baby. You don't got the chunk.
woohoo.
What do you think of those two? Lack, and Maul, right?
Lack and Maul. Well,
Yeah, what do you think of them?
Maul just looks very much like Shin from Ahsoka.
Yes, yeah, big Shin
So
vibes.
she's a second Shin,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, man, she's the left
and
Shin.
she's the left Shin. The other one's
Yep,
the right Shin.
yep.
Um, Lack is interesting. Like, did you see when he first took his helmet off? Like his face was morphing.
What was
Interesting.
that? I was going to ask you
I,
about that, like, because
yeah,
I feel like I missed something there because it, like, he had a weird CGI face when he
yeah.
took his Power Ranger helmet off.
It's either a setup for something, or they're just like they've gone. Well, let's make this alien slightly alien.
Yeah, let's make it so he could, like, because his head was
Yeah.
massive,
Oh
and
yeah. Wouldn't have
maybe
fit
the
in the
helmet.
helmet.
Yeah, so maybe they just have like maybe his alien species can shrink their own heads.
Yeah.
Maybe he can grow it. Maybe he can grow his head. Like for
Yeah.
special occasions, he can become a big Easter Island reptilian.
Or on the day they went, here's your helmet, whatever your name is, actor, and he went, this isn't going to fit on this
Yeah.
prosthetic head. Can we
Yep.
just film it normally, or me pretend to take a helmet off?
Mm. Yeah, that actor, he was in in at the end of the Expanse season 1.
Was he?
Yeah,
I can't remember him.
he was a guy.
Ah, a guy, you say?
Yeah, man. He was all up on that show. He was in those last few episodes. He turned up on the ship and they were like, "What are you doing on the ship?" And he was like, "Listen, I'm just a guy.
I'm just a dude,
I'm just a guy being a dude, bro." So yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, like I thought these first two episodes were fairly good. The first is better than the second,
Yeah.
but
That
like
the
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 story used all the characters kind of logically.
hmm,
So sometimes Discovery is just like, you need to do busy work, go do busy work, or you don't hear from a member of crew for like 2 weeks.
hmm.
You know, they do a TIG and just go off somewhere and do nothing. but
Yeah.
felt like everyone was doing something and worthwhile. So yeah, I like that enough.
Yeah,
And
like there's the past few episodes has been a lot of stuff that I don't like, but there has been a lot of
yeah,
stuff I do like. Dr. Kovic. I'd watch a
yep,
show about him. I'd watch a show where he's a regular character. I'd watch uh, uh we need more of him, like Hammond in Stargate SG-1 to bring back that reference.
yeah,
Um, I thought it was funny when he's talking about like when he mentioned that something was a little bit theatrical for his tastes. It's like, oh, it's a bit theatrical, said David Cronenberg.
yeah.
It's just like, oh, sorry, too camp. No, no,
It's what he does. It's what you do. Yeah,
it's literally what he does. Uh, I liked the space station being a convention center in space. It's classic TNG.
yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Do you like the new captain, Rayner?
no,
No,
no, no. I can't.
not even
I
in the
hate him.
first two episodes.
No,
Why?
cause like because like for Discovery, like
Hmm.
the most sickly sweet wokey doke Star Trek, the Star Trek that is most about feelings and
Feelings.
gay and neurodivergent and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
To have uh, an aggressively belligerent white man come in and save the day at the climax of the second episode was just a bit like, what the fuck? It was just a bit
Well,
weird and jarring. And also, I've
he
heard
doesn't in the
from a
first episode.
he
It's
doesn't.
his whatever that nearly kills everyone.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I just and like I can feel the
Mm,
heel turn. And so
yeah,
far, I'm just not like Discovery is one for having a character who is good and then they go bad. But more, sometimes with
yeah.
more success, sometimes with less. They they give a good reason why.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just don't think I'm just doing my job is a good enough reason. Um,
Yeah.
hopefully they can give his character a bit more depth. Um, that scene,
God's getting some in episode 3.
yeah.
Mm.
What did you
Slightly.
think of the bike chase?
It's straight out of Star Wars again, isn't it?
Yeah. Which
They
one?
fly now.
They fly. Oh yeah, the more
They
recent one.
fly
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
yeah. But this time, um, the thing flying was a spaceship, so
yeah,
it's fine. I
yeah.
did like that. Like,
It seemed like a weird cut where they were like, "We're catching up," and then it was like, "They're in their ship," and then
yeah,
they were still chasing them. Like, okay, ships must go faster than like dirt bikes or whatever
nah,
they are.
dude, nah,
Nah,
nah, no way,
cool.
man. They were on
Way.
motorbikes, bro. Motorbikes go
Yeah,
exactly as fast as they need to,
yeah.
based on the requirements
Based
of the
on the plot.
story. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um. And like hey, they're in a spaceship. Um. How can they escape? They could fly into space or a cave.
yeah. It's it's very Phantom Menace in that way, where there are blockade runners, and the blockade is just one ship
Mm,
or one station. It's just fly slightly around the planet and then fly out. If that's going to be the
yeah.
trouble, you know. But
Um.
yeah,
I
especially
did.
when
I
they
did.
got the DK fucking buoys that they decoy buoys. I can't
DK
say
goo. The goo.
decoy.
Deaky gooies. Yeah. Those. I'd like. They've got maneuvers. They spread
Yeah,
out the doopy doos. They
yeah,
send out the Donkey
exactly.
Kongs. They do a spinny and they
Yeah.
fuck off. I like it.
Hmm.
Um. I did think it was quite funny when they blow up the cave, and then
Yeah,
like it's just like a passing line in that first episode where they go, "Oh, I think we might have given them an idea," and then they straight up determine that as being exactly what happened in the next episode. It's just like, listen, sometimes in the
yeah,
field, enemies give each other ideas.
yeah,
It really feels like, again, there might have been some footage of them in their ship
yeah.
that we're not seeing.
Possibly.
Um,
Yeah, I wonder if they'll go the whole season without showing them in ship, save making a
Maybe.
set. You know.
Yeah.
Did you
Um,
like the other money saving of the White Room or the Infinity Room? Sorry, do you
yeah,
remember
man.
that?
Like, yeah, that's.
Kovic's white space,
I don't even
the
like.
infinite void from the Matrix or whatever.
What is the point? Like they already have so many ways of producing the same result without
Yeah,
a silly infinity brooch and a white
yeah.
room, unless like they had to film
It's
some
just
scenes, they had to do
well,
some
possibly,
reshoots.
possibly. But yeah, it was too early on to be a reshoot. I think because it maybe if it was the end one where he's describing what the actual chase is about, but where he's setting them off on a
The
mission, it feels
chase.
way early. The chase
Hey,
is
wait a
about.
minute.
That reminds me of an episode. Yeah,
Uh,
but like compare that to. I thought the standing on a ship at warp. That's a good or reasonably good use of the volume or
yeah,
the fake wall
and it's
compared
good.
to that shit.
Yeah, and it's a great classic like Michael Burnham moment. Michael
Yeah,
Burnham has a fucking rebel streak in her, and really, since the first episode, has been like, a scientist, tries to be logical but embraces her emotions,
yeah,
respects the chain of command, but sometimes is a little bit crazy for the needs of the many and all that. And also
yeah,
sometimes she likes to barrel through space at high speeds with as
yeah.
little protection as possible. And like, it's classic Michael Burnham, um,
Yep.
screaming woohoo while surfing a spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Madness.
Um,
Um,
what are you thinking of the MacGuffin? There's been so many so far. Um, the first one we got was the Romulan puzzle box, and to open it, we got to meet one of Data's descendants, Fred. What did you
yeah.
think of Fred?
Fred, I thought was interesting. You know, he was
Yeah,
cool enough, and does the old
etymology
data
nerd.
speed reading and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
thought reasonable good use of an
yeah,
android rather than just having an android in there for nothing.
yeah.
Can do a puzzle box quickly, can read a book quickly.
I could have
You
done
can
that
do
puzzle
the
box. You could have done that puzzle. It was one of
yeah,
those move the
I
square
know.
fucking things. It didn't even
Yeah,
look.
but he
It
does
didn't
it
even look that
quickly.
hard. I've nearly
Yeah,
solved a Rubik's cube multiple times, which
but
means
it
I mean, technically that means I haven't solved it, but I have
yeah
nearly solved it multiple times.
multiple times.
I'm so fucking close. I'll tell you what.
But it's good having him in because then they can do the the Wild Wild West. What was the person? What did he
Wiki.
see just before he died?
Well, yeah.
That that's all they use him for really is so the
Yeah.
Discovery crew can go. What did he see before he died? You couldn't do that if that was a Ferengi or something.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It's interesting to see how the cybernetics uh, you know, progress. Kind of
Well,
like
they
seeing
don't though, do they? Because he's eight
they don't
hundred years old or something like
well they
that.
don't well that's the thing. He's 600 years old. So that means that they're still building Soong robots,
Yeah.
200 years after TNG and Picard and stuff. But kind of reminded me of like how in the last season of Picard we saw a Vulcan criminal,
Yeah.
and then in this we see like an android friggin' illegal antiquities dealer. I
Mm.
like seeing those shades of gray. Oh,
Yeah.
that's another episode title. Those shades of gray with, classically
Mm.
logical, species where they say like,
Yeah.
these people are always good, they cannot lie. Oh, but some of
Until they
that
do.
can, yeah, until they do, or even
Mm.
don't, and still, still have a logical reasoning behind justifying
Yeah.
doing beheadings, or have a logical, calculated reason why it's okay to sell stolen vases or whatever it was he was up
Yeah.
to.
Self-sealing stem bolts was one of the things.
Yeah, man,
There's far too
classic.
much fucking alliteration in the things I'm talking about tonight.
There is.
It's too late and there's too much
I know.
alliteration.
What is this? A Stanley Marvel comic?
Yeah. Anything else on the first episode?
Yeah, I was disappointed when Pinhead didn't come out when he opened the box.
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas. I mean, they're
Yeah,
picking
man.
off every other franchise, aren't they? So they might as well.
Um, well, I mean, I guess like the last thing is the big reveal that the fetch quest for this series is leading us to the fucking Anunnaki from the chase, the ancient
Yeah.
aliens bullshit.
The not founders, despite looking somewhat like them and played by the same person.
Yeah, man, we better get that actor. What's her name? I need to pull that up. Um, ugh. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, I'm kind of annoyed. Like, I, I don't, I, d- I don't massively love that episode. I don't massively love what the episode kind of represents.
Yeah.
Mostly because you know me, I'm a big anti ancient astronaut theory person.
Yeah.
I'm heavily against it. And it's one of those things that like it's one of those ideas that used to be some pretty harmless, and it evolved into things like Stargate SG-1 and the Chase, and has now become full-on alt-right nonsense. And after
Yeah.
the heavy right-wing undertones of the last season of Picard, just seeing that at the end of the first episode, I was just like, what? What?
The
Um,
kind of reason why I don't like the chase or the chase should be better is this race seeded all of the the universe in Star Trek,
mhm.
and we managed to find all the clues to hunt down them within like 10 minutes of each other at warp. And the observed universe, like Starfleet, only has a tiny bit of they only go to a tiny bit of the universe. That's why Voyager being stuck 70 years away is a big thing when they're
Yeah,
like warping at max speed.
yeah.
So finding all the clues within like right next to each other is kind of like, oh, this race is, they seeded everywhere, but they left, you know, 10 copies of their secrets around here.
They seeded everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of stupid in that way, and Discovery can half step around that now because they're like, oh, because we have the spore drive, we can jump anywhere. But you're not really jumping anywhere because a scientist from 800 years ago has hidden these things. So you're only jumping to where this scientist hid stuff 800 years ago. So
Yeah.
still, you're like, you he found the technology and hid the keys within another tiny part of the universe. So it's kind of dumb in that regard, I think.
Salome Jens. That's the name of the actor.
Okay, cool name.
That's the yeah, man. Um, yeah. It's kind of like this series is kind of doing a reverse of what happened with season 2 of Picard and that
Mm,
episode of Strange New Worlds where Laan goes back in time to Canada and
yeah.
does hits all the main beats of the entire
Mm.
second season of Picard in one episode. Now this series is doing one episode of TNG spread out over several episodes.
And it's somewhat silly as well, I think, because in Discovery we have seen or referenced um, the episode with Spock in, whatever it is, Unification 2.
Hmm.
We've referenced Picard having a new body, and now we're referencing the chase. And these are kind of the only references to stuff that's happened in the 800-year gap that we're
Yeah,
talking about. It's a bit silly in that regard. It's kind of
yeah,
like we only have references. It's like Star Trek overall, where it goes, oh, what music are they playing? And it's either like current pop music or like Beethoven or some shit like that,
yeah, yeah.
or it's modern Ferengi songs. And you're like,
Yeah, which is it did
no
like
history happened.
there's it's that whole thing of like a classic example of like like someone lists three things and they'll list
Mm,
like you say Beethoven,
mm,
Elvis, or fucking Zip Zop,
yeah,
you know.
and you're
Um
like, cool.
yeah. But like yeah, the references in the past few seasons of Discovery have been very TNG heavy. Um,
Yeah,
where's the
we saw that
DS9 love?
TNG uniform as well in
Yeah,
one of the
yeah,
episodes.
man,
Yeah,
yeah, with the wrong badge.
with the wrong badge and slightly different season one
He
and
had
two
big shoulder.
piping over. Yeah,
He had
yeah,
cool. He had these things going on.
mm,
He was doing neck lifts. His neck was hench.
yeah, yeah. So not a fan of it on that regard, but I can
Yeah.
get past that easily enough. They're going to reference something that exists
And
to
then
pull us in.
so episode 2
Mm,
starts off with a tribunal. Love a
yeah,
tribunal. Lame tribunal though.
it's the lamest one I can remember really,
Yeah, man.
where it's just
Although
like, did you call down an orbital strike? And
yeah, I'd done
asking
it.
Michael, did you agree with him calling down an orbital strike? And it's just like, communication logs exist, surely, you know.
Yeah,
It's the
absolutely.
32nd century. Just pull off the recordings.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
Um, I do like that Burnham, despite obviously not liking Rayna at first,
Yeah,
did not want to. She didn't want to snitch.
yeah.
She didn't want
She
to
ain't no
snitch.
snitch.
She's no grass. She don't want no
Snitches
stitches.
get stitches.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
Snitches get stitches. Grasses get asses.
asses.
I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I do like that.
Mm.
There's some loyal rank loyalty, or even
Yeah.
Starfleet loyalty there, where she's like, listen, this guy's a douche, but he did what he thought was right, which
And I
is
like it. It informs on his character as well, where he's just like, no, say your mind. I don't care. I speak plainly. I want you to speak plainly.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, what
And
will
his
be will be.
backstory on being this great captain during the burn when they were kind of at war, but now he's, you know, perfunctory or whatever, not useful.
Mm,
A captain for a different time. That's
Captain from a
reasonably
different
interesting as well.
Yeah, it is. It kind of reminds me of a lot of from like old westerns where people
Mm,
are it's after the Civil War and people are you
yeah.
know I just don't know if I belong in this time anymore, or
I've saved the town, but I can't live here because
yeah,
I'm so rebel. I wouldn't fit in.
yeah,
That sort of
or
thing. Yeah.
people coming back from Vietnam to a different world.
Mm.
Um, I've listened to the audiobook. I read the audiobook of The Forever War by Joe Haldeman. Big recommendation. Very good.
I've read it. It's very
It's
good.
amazing.
Did hold on? Is the
Weird.
Forever War the three of them collected?
Yeah,
Because
the
there's
Forever War is the first one, and then it's Forever Free,
okay,
which is a
yeah,
spiritual sequel, but not actually a sequel. And then no,
but then
then
there is
Forever
an actual
Peace, which is
sequel.
that, and then Forever
Yeah,
Free is the actual sequel. Lots
yeah,
of weird ideas about sexuality in that book, though. I don't
yeah.
think that Joe Haldeman knew that bisexuals existed.
Oh no.
He
Oh,
did not know that that was a thing.
it was written a fair, well, I say a fair amount ago. What was it? 80s maybe written.
Yeah, there were
Yeah.
bisexuals in the 80s.
I know,
There
but
were
it
bisexuals.
wasn't.
There have always been bisexuals.
I know,
Did they have a
but they
word
were.
for it? Let's have a look.
It it
This
wasn't
is a Star
as
Trek podcast, and I'm gonna
yeah.
Google when
When did the
was
word
the term
bisexual come exist? It
bisexual?
they definitely existed, but it wasn't as talked about.
1793.
Having a non, you know, cis monogamous relationship wasn't as I don't know, normalized. Um, Anything
It,
else was not anti-normalized. Let's say
well,
disparaged.
that's but I think that is in that book. That is Joe
Yeah,
Haldeman sort of saying, "This is how the world seems to me after coming back from Vietnam."
yeah,
And like I don't agree with it, but maybe I'm wrong. Like
yeah,
that was very much the through line of it. Of like, look, this is weird. I'm not into this. I'm not into this world where everyone is gay and I'm one of
yeah,
the few straight people that exist and people keep telling me that I should keep it to myself. But you know what? Everyone else seems pretty happy.
yeah,
Like maybe I'm wrong.
yeah.
Which I thought, was quite, must have been quite cathartic for him. And then I've not done the second book, but the third book, because it was a direct sequel, I was like, yeah, I'll just do that one. Um, Clearly, the through line is that I feel like Joe Haldeman, without looking up, I should probably confirm this before I say it out loud, but after listening to that, I was like, I would imagine about this time in Joe Haldeman's life, his child or maybe grandchild, but probably his child thought that thought that he was cool. As in, like his child, like I'm cool,
Yeah,
dad, and you're an old man, and you're not cool anymore. Because it definitely there's parts of that book that definitely feel as though Joel Haldeman thinks that his son thinks that he is not cool anymore.
he's like he's being called a boomer, and he's like, "Damn you, kid!"
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
back
where
to
were we?
Star Trek. What did you think of that? Did you see Tilly's hair in that one scene?
I can't remember her being. Oh, yeah. Well, it's not as good overall compared to maybe season one. Her they
No.
seem to be doing her a bit of a disservice, but
Yes,
whatever.
I
I don't
liked
care
Drunk
about it enough.
Tilly. Drunk Tilly was fun. Um,
Yeah.
Janky ass wig Tilly, not as fun.
I hated the her and Adira trying to work out what the power source for this ancient weapons thing was. And Tilly is from 900 years ago, so she's from closer to when this weapons platform existed. And you need Rayner to come in and be like, no, they wouldn't have had this squiggly do back then, this current
Yeah,
technology.
man.
You need to think about thousands of years ago. And
If
Tilly's like,
if
my God, thousands
if
of years
only they
ago?
had an ancient supercomputer
Yeah,
that was helping them figure things out. If only they had something like the fucking ship's
yeah,
AI that has 100,000 years worth of fucking data that it's collected. If only they had
yeah.
stuff. But luckily, this big, strong, rude white man came in and saved this woman and this trans pair of scientists. Luckily that these scientists with vaginas, luckily for them, there was a white man nearby with his big dick of experience that came in and was like, you're not you're thinking
You're
with your
idiots.
you're not thinking with your brains. You're thinking with your tits.
Yeah,
Fucking
stupid.
yeah. You see now you're seeing now you're going on
No,
about fucking
no, I already thought that whole scene was
good.
stupid. Where I don't mind Rayner was like in the first episode where he beams down in between Michael and Booker who are having a conversation, and he's just like, "I love when people talk," or he does something
Yeah,
like that,
yeah. He's just
and
like.
then yeah,
I've definitely beamed down in the middle of a deep and meaningful
other thing.
conversation, haven't I?
Yeah. Or
Mm,
or how he can be a foil for Michael without just being an authority figure, being like, no, don't do that. Because he's kind of the same as Michael in that he just does what he wants, and Starfleet has, rewarded him for a couple of years. And now they're butting up against each other because they both want to do what they want to do,
yeah,
rather than like the last couple of ones have been like, no, Michael, don't do that, and she does it anyway, and you go like, oh, here's a medal, Michael. Congratulations, I
literally,
didn't actually mean don't do it. Here's a medal for doing it.
literally.
um so yeah, I don't mind him on that front. I think it was a stupid scene with Tilly and Adira. Yeah.
Hmm.
um I it it felt like they were almost doing a Murtoch from Lethal Weapon with
Mm,
Saru, where they're
yeah,
like, "Oh, it's I'm gonna
totally.
leave the ship. This is my last mission, and I'm gonna get
I'm two
married." And
days from retirement. I
they
was
call
thinking
me
like that would
Action
be a
Saru.
ballsy move to kill Saru off in the second
Yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Fucking 2 days out of retirement.
He's just
But nah,
like,
man.
"Don't worry, I'll distract the weapons for you."
I know. I was just like, oh
Yeah,
fuck's sake. That was cool. That shot of
Michael's
him
the
running
like,
though. Like when they must have had him
yeah,
like running on a conveyor belt.
or pulling him along or whatever.
Yeah,
But like, I can just imagine like Michael drawing a target on his back, like one of the comic
literally.
red and white
Just like
targets, and being like, "Go, Saru!"
yeah, a big
Yeah,
sign. Just a big sign saying "Blast me."
blast this man.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Um, Beyond that, I like the aesthetic stuff of the big statue, and it like that one at the end, especially where it's reactivating again, and the big head just turns it against them. It's very
Yeah, man.
like, especially with it being six eyes, it's very I don't know, Marvel
Mm.
Eternals or something like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Kirby sort of
Oh
stuff.
fuck. It's a
Yeah,
sentinel.
yeah, goes fucking
Hmm.
hard. Um, yeah. What else did I think?
The idea
Um,
of Booker being Michael's first officer is stupid.
well, he's not.
He's not. He can't
No, they
be.
they
He's
say
not.
that Saru says during the episode that you need someone that challenges you, like Buck did. And Michael's
Mm.
like, I can't have Buck, because of reason, and we've decided not to get back together. And Saru's like, I didn't say have Buck, I said get someone who challenges you. And
Yeah.
that's why she goes to Raina.
Yeah.
Um,
But like the
yeah,
suggestion of it
yeah,
annoyed me. And then you have that scene where she goes to see Raina, and it's like, oh, I see what's happening. I see what's happening here.
yeah.
But the whole way through, from when they first said Saru is not going to be the first officer anymore,
Mm,
right up until that point,
yeah.
who do you think would be a good first officer, especially after episode 3? Who do you think out of the Discovery crew would be a good first officer?
Tilly, probably.
Tilly? Tilly's doing a different thing.
Yeah, but what we see in third episode is she has the connections to get the
Hmm.
rest of the crew to do stuff, and that's kind of the role of the first officer. It's not necessarily the Riker rolling around. It's kind of also being making sure the commands of the captain are carried out.
Uh-huh.
So I
Dealing with
could
the
see,
crew, dealing with the
yeah,
crew, having
hmm,
compassion for the crew, but while
yeah,
still being able to do their duty.
hmm,
See, my mind's on Culber.
yeah.
Culber would
He
be an
did,
amazing first officer. That first scene in the most recent episode, which I guess is a good way for us to dovetail
yeah,
into it.
transition over or whatever.
Um, uh, you really see him having respect for authority, but also being able to approach
Yeah,
someone with authority over him, and the way that he's kind of um played a bigger part in the
hmm,
continuing adventures of the USS Discovery in the past couple of
yeah,
seasons, especially since coming into the 31st century. You know, he's fucking awesome. He looks great in a uniform.
fuck
I'd
yeah.
love to I'd love to see him in red. He's a beautiful man. Um, and yeah, Dr. Culber,
Imagine if that
Commander
ruined his
Culber.
complexion, because
I don't
he's
think
the
anything could.
he's easily the best looking guy on the show.
Oh, absolutely. Let's have a look. What's the actor called again?
Hold on, it is. He's not counted as the main cast. That's ridiculous. He must be.
Wilson Cruz.
Wilson
That's the
Cruz.
badger.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we've got Wilson Cruz red shirt. There are so many shots of him wearing red.
Okay.
There's so many. Yeah,
And he
there's
doesn't
loads
look
of
like
him
a
wearing
horrible
red.
mutant man.
No, he was beautiful.
Okay. They even say in this most recent episode, um, like he's talking about himself, or someone's talking about his body, and he's just like, "Oh, this guy works out."
This
And
guy
you're just
fucking
like,
works out.
"Yeah, he
This is
fucking does."
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Should I
Should we
very
go?
quickly, and it's a very short one, do the description for episode 3, and we can
Yeah,
just talk
I don't
episode 3
believe
then.
you.
It's believe me, it is at least or at most half the size of the second one, and that was shorter than the first. So now on Trill, the crew is searching for the next piece of the puzzle. They put the personality of an 800-year-old Trill into Culber so he can guide them to the puzzle piece. He walks them out to the middle of nowhere where strange creatures are attacking them. But it's not until Michael works out that they are just protecting their nest. Because Michael notices the nest and decides not to kill the monsters. She had no chance of killing anyway. The Trill inside Culber just gives her the puzzle piece from a different rock. Meanwhile, on the Discovery, Tilly confronts Rayna because he isn't getting to know the crew, and Gray and Adira break up, and Tarina and Saru work out their marriage plans. Such a short episode description compared to the
Yeah.
first.
We're back on Trill.
Mm.
Do you know Trill is like slang for the young people now?
Is it?
Yeah, man. Let me
I'm
just
so old.
Trill slang.
Yo, you are so Trill, sort of
It
thing.
means true and real.
Okay. They are the truest and the realest
They
of the
are
races.
so true and real. They're too true. They're too
Yeah.
real. I can't deal
Yeah.
with it. It's
Too real.
they're so trill.
Too
I
Trill.
can't dill.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, we kind of knew we were coming back to this planet anyway, didn't we? Because we have to
Yes.
close
Yeah.
off Gray and Adira.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
better to do it nice and early on.
Yeah. Oh no. Thank fuck.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd like not that I've got anything against either of them. It's just I can't be dealing with these fucking these young
Yeah.
folks, these
I
young
think,
folks and their feelings, their relationship feelings.
yeah,
You brought
the
like
relationship stuff about is just stupid.
I
But
don't
I
like
think the Adira like character is somewhat interesting.
yeah.
But Gray has been like literally a dead weight on them.
I think
Um,
Gray's kind of a dick.
yeah,
Kind of a dick, you
yeah.
know? Like,
And
yeah, thanks for bringing me back to life.
I'm leaving.
Like, yeah, I'm gonna like I mean, like zip zooming around the galaxy is cool and all, but
Yeah,
I'm like I also have to go and be a part of this religious sect.
yeah.
Whatever, whatever,
And
man.
in this story, they were part of that religious sect or wanting to be part of it before they died.
Mm,
But at the same time, a character can't die, not be able to touch anything, not be able to be seen by anyone but one person who isn't the most interesting crew member as well. Adira, I think Adira is fine, but she's not the most. They're not the most adhering. Adhering words. They're not the most interesting.
endearing,
I,
interesting, right?
interesting. I combined Adira and interesting. They're not the most interesting crew member.
No,
I think they're fun, but they're not the most
they have
interesting.
the potential to be more interesting.
They do, but not with the dead weight of Grey on them
Yes, yeah,
and that relationship. So getting rid of Grey, because they did nothing after they came back to life as well last season. They did fuck all.
no, just hung around on the ship, just hung around
Yeah,
on the ship. And then decided like the idea of someone dying and going back to life, and then when they come back to life, just going back to what they were doing before. That's crazy. Like, no, that's
yeah.
I can't imagine that would happen. I
It's the
can't.
I won the lottery, but still am working, or I had a near death experience, but I still go back to the office the next
Yeah,
day. It's ridiculous.
yeah,
Um, so during that whole scene at the end for them, where they're like, oh, Adira's like, we could still change up this relationship, or do whatever, which presumably they're just talking about opening it up and fucking other people. I'm just like, no, no,
yeah.
no, no.
Absolutely. Like Gray's just like, well, I mean, there's a lot of other different kinds of relationship that we could have.
Yeah,
I know you're not the most sensual person, Adira, but have you ever heard of a thruple?
yeah.
A long distance thruple?
I'm now seeing this very large trill.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you want to be long distance cucked across the galaxy?
Yeah, stupid.
Nah.
Yeah. So thank God, dead weight gone.
Absolutely. I thought it was funny how
Yeah,
we, to kind of, the exposition of getting us to Trill, where they're like, oh, we've found these Trill spots on the thing, and they're unique to this person, and then it cuts to Adira going, and they weren't just any kind of Trill either. This one was joined with a symbiote. I was like, no. No fucking way. Are you serious?
well,
Are you fucking serious?
in
No
DS9
way!
they put it like at 5% or around that actually get joined.
I know, but like,
What?
this is the fucking plot. Like,
Yeah.
of course they're fucking joined. Of course they're
What
joined.
what I thought was absolutely insane was this Trill has been holding on to the secret, and according to the main Trill, doesn't talk to anyone unless they answer riddles free. Woo!
Where did the fourth point? Where does the
But
fourth?
the fourth point? But what I thought was insane was we find out from when the Colbert is holding the personality that he actually wanted someone to find this at some point when society has grown up and it is not going to be used as a weapon and stuff like that. And you go, well, okay, fair enough. 800 years old, and we hear, oh, Trills, I guess, sometimes live to 800. He's also survived the
Yeah.
Dominion War and all the other wars in the meantime. He's
Yep.
survived the Temporal War. He's survived the Burn.
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying he
Yep.
because they because it's true or whatever. They've
Yeah,
survived all of that
she, they. Yeah.
when you don't have a backup at all.
No,
you don't tell anyone. You don't do anything about it. What are
no,
you
man. They
doing?
have
That's
they
insane.
have the pond, and the pond was fine. 800 years later, the pond is
Yeah,
fine.
he didn't tell the pun though, did he?
No, can
Stupid. I
they?
thought that. I think they can, or maybe as young ones they can. But I thought that was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
So lucky. Not even this was passed on by a trill who died passed this on to me. I was his friend, something like that. He died, just say he died 60 years ago, but I was his wife or I was his husband at the time.
yeah,
Um, and they passed it on their deathbed because it's this secret, and I'm going to pass it on my deathbed. None of that. It's just like, yeah,
I'm still
I could have
alive.
died a million times.
Still here, baby.
Yeah.
800 years old.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, man. That's that. Yeah, you're right. That is fucking mental.
Yeah. And then the whole thing of him, again, it's this stupid coincidence thing where he leads Michael and Buck out to just this random rock that 800 years ago he drew a symbol on, or they drew a symbol on. And he apparently knew that that was going to be the mating territory in 800 years' time or whenever for these bug creatures from Starship Troopers. And
Yeah.
that wasn't where the thing is hidden. That's
Is
just a
that where you
test.
see? My mind immediately went to a giant version of uh the the cricket from A Bug's Life.
Yeah.
But I thought they were
But
gonna fuck. I was disappointed.
the creatures.
Yeah.
But again, none of that's where the actual thing is. When he goes, "Oh no, I believe you now. You have compassion or whatever." Is the reason he's willing to give it away. He just pulls it out from another rock that's just been sitting out for 800 years, and he's like,
It's
"Here you go."
literally just been sat there. It's literally just been sat there. What? What are you talking about? What are you
What are
talking
you
about?
doing, show?
What?
Like,
I mean, that being said, I saw a video where a guy left his gloves on the back of his car and he
yeah,
drove from work to the supermarket. And then when he got out of the supermarket, the gloves were still there. So anything could happen.
and it's kind of like as well because I can understand a tiny bit of logic where he's like, people don't go to this area because of these creatures, but it would be
People
like,
get people don't go to this quarry. Don't come to
yeah,
people
people
don't
don't
come
go
to
to
this
this
quarry.
quarry
There's big
because
creatures
of
and it's
creatures.
shit.
Yeah, but can you imagine? If we went and hid something somewhere where I don't know, a tiger's den, and being like, "Don't worry, in 800 years, people won't go there because tigers live there." It's the dumbest shit in the world.
Yeah, man. It's what was the so it's fucking yeah. So we've
It's
got
so
Culber.
stupid.
We've got Culber having taken on the personality of this Trill dude that
Yeah.
they've transferred using some chanting, some fucking Om Nom Shiva.
Yeah.
Um,
They did it in
what
DS9
was that?
once.
Well, yeah, what
It's
was that
fine.
DS9 episode? I'm just trying to remember. It had Curzon and Odo. Like they didn't wanna
Yeah, they didn't want to separate.
facets.
Facets.
Facets
Oh, very
had a
good. Yeah.
cheeky callback to facets.
Yeah.
Um, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
This Trill stuff. It is a bit mystical though. Bit mystical
Yeah.
for my liking, but I guess it doesn't. It's more a ritual than anything.
It's how you feel it,
Yeah,
it's
man, it's how you
feeling.
feel it.
It's a groove.
Um, but yeah, I enjoyed that. Nice little callback to DS9. Always nice when an actor on Star Trek gets to play a different character and they are just
Yeah.
fucking loving it. They're just chewing it up.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
And
Classic
he's doing some
episodes.
decent stuff. Wilson
Yeah,
Cruz, you know.
yeah.
Again, such a ridiculously handsome
I'm a
chap. It's
sci-
almost unfair.
I'm a scientist.
Yeah.
I'm a scientist. This guy's got nice pecs.
Yeah.
Like,
So
man, if you come check out this quarry with me and watch these bugs have sex.
yeah, you'd think you'd be like, right, thanks for giving me a body. Give me like 5 minutes to like hook up with someone, or you know.
Yeah, man. It's not gonna be hard. Have you seen me?
Yeah, but no. Um, but yeah, the trill describes what happened 800 years ago. So there were
Mm,
6 scientists, and they went, right, this is such a powerful weapon. It killed one of them, or not even weapon. It's just a technology that can do shitloads.
yeah,
And it killed one of them who was just like poking at it with a stick. So they decided to hide it away until they knew it wasn't going to be used in the Dominion War or another war, and society was good enough, and all rubbish
yeah.
like that.
Which
So,
is a sentiment that is mirrored somewhat in another scene that you have with Rayner and Stamets, where Stamets is talking
mm,
about, you know, just based on this small bit of technology that they've got,
yeah,
extrapolating the implications
they,
of the data that they've got. It's, pardon me, um, you know, talking about the
it's
implications of the amazing stuff that they could do with it. And Reyna just being like, yeah, but in the wrong hands. It's like, yeah, but in the right hands, it could be
yeah.
amazing. In the wrong hands, anything could be fucking horrible.
I mean,
Um,
even in the right hands, that technology is terrible.
yeah.
Um,
Should you bring
imagine,
back people from the dead? Is that a thing
yeah,
that we should be doing? I mean,
and
stopping
that
people
is the
from dying is
Chekhov's
cool.
gun of the
Check,
season.
absolutely. Chekhov's
We're
gun.
gonna bring someone back from the dead.
Who?
So
Who are we gonna bring back from the dead?
Saru,
Saru, maybe. He's got to get married, so we can't have him
yeah,
dying. Um, Buck.
yeah,
Um, Honey Bunny. Um,
yeah.
ooh, a legacy. A legacy. Star Trek, a legacy character.
They've
Maybe
got
they'll bring
well
back
in
Neelix.
in Picard season 3, they just had Kirk's body on ice. They
They
could
did.
dust Kirk's body off and,
Yeah,
and
man.
bring him back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah.
Who knows?
But yeah,
But yeah,
that's why
so
it feels very prescriptive. Again,
yeah.
that's where I'm saying like we know kind of stuff what's happening because they've set this up and it's obviously going to be used then. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't know. Chekhov's gun for the show. I
Yeah.
don't care though.
Um, we've got some Reno. Got Reno back.
I don't like Reno in this show.
Yeah.
I li-
I
I like
do.
I like the character. I like Tig. I don't like that they just have one scene. They walk in. They don't barely stop walking. They walk into a scene, go ha ha, and then walk out, and that's
Yeah.
all they do.
Yeah.
Like
Like I do like the Reno's tendency to walk off mid-sentence.
yeah,
So yeah. Anyway, like
but
I like that. I like that um
yeah,
Tignataro's acting style is phoning it in.
yeah,
Like I
and
my
yeah, I kind of understand last season because she didn't want to be around like a load of filming because she um has health stuff and it was in the middle of COVID or whatever because season 4 was that long ago. So she didn't want to be around a lot then. But since she's joined the cast, all she does is appear in like one scene per 3 or 4 episodes, go haha, and walks off.
yeah, it brings the folksy working class wisdom, you
No.
know? She comes in, she's like, you gotta use the right tool for the right job. And that's what I used to say to your mom, and then
Yeah.
walks off.
I don't care about it.
I love that.
No.
Got Linus. Linus!
Yeah.
Linus, my boy.
So Another thing that annoyed me in this episode, and this episode is my by far and away least favorite of the three so far. So we have the story on the Discovery that
Hmm.
is Rayner, you need to get to know the crew, and he's being very obstinate. He's like, I'll give you 20 words each, and you
Hmm.
have to come to me. I'm not coming to you. He's bad bossing it,
Hmm.
so Tilly has to boss him around. But at the start of that whole thing, when he's on the bridge, he's like, okay, we're being told by Tilly that you, Rayner, need to get to know the crew because that's how Discovery functions. We're a crew, we're a family, whatever. And he goes, okay, bridge crew, rattle off your names. And then literally half the people on the bridge crew we don't know the names of
Yeah, I've never
before
seen
that
these people
scene.
before in my life.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
it's like, okay, you're sitting in Detmer's seat, don't know who you are. You're sitting in OO's seat, don't know who you are. You're this guy, don't know who you are. And it's like, great, I know half of you. Perfect. So the show is
Sweet.
telling
Love it.
us we're the idiots because
Yeah.
we don't know the crew. And then it's saying, oh, Rayner, who only knows facts about these crew members, is so terrible because he doesn't know them, their emotional core.
I don't
He
know these
hasn't spent
fuckers'
time with them.
emotional cores.
We don't know the fucking emotional
No.
cores of these people.
What are you
This is the
talking
first
about?
time I remember seeing half of them.
Yeah, man. Totally. It is.
So,
It's just like, listen, you need to get to know these people the same way that the audience hasn't.
but don't worry, you'll have plenty of time to get to know them in the 4 episodes that they'll be
Yeah.
on before the end of the show.
Yeah.
Before we
Great.
never see any of these characters again.
Yeah.
Great, fantastic, slow clap.
Yeah. Yeah. Rayner just being a dick right out of the gate.
Yeah,
Um, is meh. But that go, when Tilly starts having a go at him, that was pretty
yeah,
sweet. That was a pretty good telling off. It was pretty good
yeah,
telling off that Rayner got.
yeah.
Really,
And he
like,
seems to be on his way to change at the end of the episode as well. He
hmm,
sees like, you know, it's
yeah,
kind of like
no,
that envious shot of seeing Tilly having fun with a crew and him being
yeah,
like, wow.
yeah, not like indignant at being spoken down to by an inferior officer either. Just kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Okay.
maybe I am a bit
Okay.
of a tool.
Yeah. Never mind.
Hmm.
Did you catch as well? It was another and minor spoilers for the rest of the season, and maybe skip forward 2 minutes or so, because we've seen already in the coming up in this season of Discovery, and we've seen a different ship in that coming up, and then during the getting to know the crew members, Reese was like, "I love Constitution class ships."
Hmm.
And what do we see a couple of shots of in the coming up in season 5? A
Do we?
Constitution
I
class
don't
ship.
recall that. I didn't. I hadn't had the chance to go back over it. I might have a look. Is
Have a look.
Reese gonna be like, oh, shotgun?
Yeah, I know this one.
Let's have a go, Aunt Connie.
Yeah. It even
Uh,
looks like the ISS Enterprise, to be honest.
cool. Oh,
So,
maybe they are gonna use that set.
oh no, that's where
Hmm.
that's what them reusing that set. Trust me.
Ah.
You can see it in the coming coming up. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just more, setting up stuff that we kind of know is going to happen because they show us it anyway.
Hmm. What do
Yeah,
you think of the storyline with Saru and Trina?
I could not care.
I see. I'm slightly more interested in it. Uh,
Why? What?
I don't
I
know. I
care
just
about them as a
well,
couple
well,
a
well,
bit,
it just
but I don't
because
care
like
about their storyline.
I feel like it's gonna be a slow burn and it's gonna become more important. Talking about the Vulcan purists, you know, like the logic extremists from the first couple seasons of Discovery, the Vulcan purists of Nivar. I like
Yeah,
I like Terra. Look at that
yeah,
shifty cunt. What's that guy's fucking problem? Devin? Hotel
Yeah.
Divan was a hotel in Harrogate that my
Mm.
friend used to be the sommelier at, and he used to
Ooh.
sell spice. Um,
Dum
ah,
dum.
um, and uh, the yeah, what's that guy that he's talking about? Fucking the Vulcan purist. It's like, oh, that's what he is.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah. You're
immediately.
an ass. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's you showed your ass there, mate. Like that thing you just mentioned, you're that. I'm willing to bet he's a Vulcan purist. I'm willing to bet he's a fundamentalist. He's a
I wonder if
fundagelical
he'll kill
Vulcan.
Saru.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe
Mm.
he'll kill Saru. Maybe he is in love with Trina. Maybe he wants to get a bit of a fucking Miss Robinson going on.
Yeah.
Um, uh, that plant that Trina brings Saru is a begonia.
Is it?
My partner
I
wanted
wasn't
me to.
even
My
watching
partner
anything.
wanted me to. Wanted me to make sure everyone knows that we were watching the show. And she goes, "I brought you a fucking a fucking Alpha Centaurian fucking tiger
Yeah.
lily." And my partner just went, "That's a begonia, dickhead."
He's going to start watering it like it's this amazing foreign plant when it's just some random shit from Earth.
Yep,
Mm.
pretty much.
Yeah. No, I just couldn't care for that whole whatever. Maybe if it comes back, it'll be more interesting. But where he's just like, oh, you'll offend the Vulcans if you
Maybe
get
it's
married.
Chekhov's begonia. Chekhov's begonia. Maybe that plant
Yeah,
is gonna explode. Maybe that's a Vulcan purist's fucking plant. A plant in
yeah,
both senses of the word.
yeah.
Maybe there's a microphone or a bomb or both.
And maybe speaking of a plant, we saw Mole plant shit on Adira.
Shit, we did.
Yeah.
Just a cheeky little.
Which apparently
So,
the transports aren't going to pick up. But yeah, fine.
oh, if they come, we'll fucking deal with them.
As I say, it's kind of obvious you can't set up these looters and them to be the series like villain kind of without them coming back. And because they've missed out on the clue, they need to steal from the Discovery. So it
Mm.
kind of it set up,
I like, and again, that was some like stuff that happened off screen. You know,
Yeah,
we go to Raina, and Raina's like, they're back on that fucking planet that we were on last episode.
yeah,
You know, there's probably some footage somewhere of them going to Beta Z and being
mm.
like,
Oh shit.
there's no fucking rocks, and these people are fucking annoying as shit. Um, let's go
I wonder
back.
what they did when they got to Beta Z because Beta Z is a whole planet as well, and they didn't have the dots, the trill dots to guide them. So did they just get to the planet and were like, now
Anybody
do what
got
we
any
do?
rocks?
Yeah, seen one of
Any
these?
anyone got a
Yeah.
fucking like weird Rubik's cube with
In fact, they didn't even know the Rubik's cube either, so they're just looking for a haiku on
yeah,
Beta Z.
yeah. Like what did
Dumb.
they do when they got there? Did they just go around going, "Does anyone know the secrets to the fucking Anunnaki? Anyone?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Anyone, please
What
help
is
me?
with this planet of fucking space lushes?
Yeah.
Let's do one." And then they go back, and then they come back. There was a bit
Mm.
at the end of the episode where Michael and Culber are talking, and
Yeah.
one of those examples that I mentioned of some blatant ADR that had gone down, where the camera's looking at Culber and you hear Michael saying, fucking the Trill guy that we've been hanging out with on the way back to the cave, he said something, and then the camera goes back to her, and she's like, "I have been searching," and it's like I feel like
Yeah.
there's a massive conversation that we've missed there.
I don't
Um,
know what she was saying she was searching for. Was
No.
I an idiot? I only watched it once
No,
today,
because
so
there was they
while I was
had a
working.
they didn't have, well, they
Yeah,
had, presumably they had the conversation in a deleted scene.
yeah. It,
So yeah,
it just went back
like,
to I have been searching for something. Then a bit of a crying face, and I was like, I just turned around and was like, hold on, I've missed something. What were you searching for? And then there was a crying face, and I was like, I don't really care anyway.
yeah,
Um,
and she's
you'll get it or not get
meditating.
it by the end of the season.
That's stupid. I thought that was
Yeah.
stupid. Oh, that was
Mm.
silly. I feel like I'm bad mouthing this a lot, and
No,
like,
I think the third episode needs a lot of bad mouthing. I
I,
don't
I,
think it is a good
I
episode at
think
all.
that the fact that like there is a blatant evidence of studio interference in this episode, in these three episodes. There's blatant evidence of things not quite being right, not quite making sense, things being
Yeah.
smushed together. Um, like, I really feel like that first episode is cut together from two episodes. I feel like maybe the Saru storyline is maybe a season six thing. Um,
Possibly.
I feel
Yeah.
like there are scenes we keep there are scenes that we're not seeing that we're being told about through exposition too often. And there's like
Yeah.
noticeable lack of things that there's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing them. We shouldn't There's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing Rayner on the bridge of his ship. There's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing fucking Maul and Daz
Yeah.
on the
Lack.
on the be- because the thing is, it's not like we're not seeing sets. Like, we are seeing
Yeah.
sets. We're seeing a lot of the use of the volume, but we are seeing other stuff. You know? Um,
I just don't think, like, when I was ranting about this 800-year-old thing has just been sitting out, they also do. So I've kind of always had a problem with Michael and Buck where they just have these things where they go, oh, you remember this time on, I don't know, Satax 9? We did this. And then in this episode, they're like, okay, do we go on free? And it's like, so you can remember all these fucking plot like things that you've done for the past how many years that you've known each other, your relationship, and you can recall plans and go, let's do that again. But you don't know if you as a pair go on free or go one, two, three and go.
yeah, that I kind of
And
feel
then it's
like
like last episode as well. It was, oh, Saru, you run and distract these things while I, Michael, do something. And then this episode, it was you, Buck, run and distract these things while I do something. And I'm just going, it's the same. So the
hmm
characters don't make sense. The story doesn't pretty much make sense, and it picks up stuff from that we did literally last week. I'm
yeah.
like, I don't care about this episode at all.
Yeah, but last week it was in a forest with robots, and this week it was in a quarry with bugs. Next
Yeah,
week it'll be by a lake with zombies.
yeah.
Where do you think
Just
we're gonna
don't
go
care.
next week? Where do you reckon we'll go?
Bottle episode where the two things so far get stolen from Discovery by Mol and Lack.
Oh, maybe. Do you think we'll see the Power Ranger helmets again?
Quite possibly.
Weird CGI face?
Yeah.
Go,
Why not? Hey,
go,
why not?
Power Rangers in
It's
space.
that, or it's the ship that I was talking about when we were talking about spoilers before that we've seen in the
Hmm.
thing. Just because it's early on in the season, they probably cut stuff together from early on in the season.
Yeah, they do usually,
So
don't
yeah,
they?
yeah. So yeah. How do you think this season is? So there is someone is probably going to acquire this technology, and as we said, someone is probably going to heal someone from death at one point. Do you think they're going to leave the universe with a cure for death,
Again,
Yeah,
more
they've
cures
done
for
it
death.
before.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be that, like, because they've got cures for death. It'll be more like in the moment kind of thing. Like someone will be like
Mm.
chewed up or something. Um,
Yeah.
I think
Saru will have gone through a full meat grinder and come
yeah,
out as
and
paste.
yeah, and they'll be able to fucking sew him back together or something.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not so much like I feel like this storyline might
Mm.
end before the end of the series,
Maybe,
and
yeah.
potentially like thinking about like where this is going because they're talking about um the power in the right hands. How do we determine what that's going to be the next question
Yeah.
is, who decides whose hands are the right hands,
But
you
surely
know?
the answer to that is going to be no one, we can't have this, no one is the right person to wield this. We either need to destroy it or hide it again,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Or, potentially because what happened to the fucking Anunnaki in the chase? Did they leave or were they dying out?
I don't know. I think they might have just seeded the universe for shits and gigs.
Yeah, maybe they'll fucking maybe they like ascended. Maybe they ascended.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see the cosmic koala.
Mm,
Just big cosmic koala head
yeah.
opens his mouth.
It's full of
The the
Anunnaki teeth.
no, just at one the Anunnaki comes out and is
Yeah.
like, "I'm taking this with me,"
Yeah.
and
You're not allowed
leaves.
this.
Yeah, you're not allowed this.
We didn't leave it
Whoops.
here so you could revive Saru.
We honestly didn't mean to leave this.
Yeah.
And then
Oops.
just
Sorry.
leaves.
Yeah.
I imagine it'd probably be something like that.
Mm.
Because yeah, like you say, like they can't just end the series with the cure for
Starfleet
death.
having
The,
Starfleet having technology that is the cure for death and the ability to seed life and
yeah,
evolution and Discovery is already a step up of technology. You can't introduce this,
yeah.
super technology that is universe destroying.
We're all gods now. We're all gods.
Yeah.
Um, so no.
Don't know.
And then who knows? Who knows how the series is gonna end? Because like we still need to fucking um tie off that random short trek
Calypso. Yeah.
Calypso. My
Yeah.
favorite. I love that. That is honestly one of my favorite episodes of all of Star Trek, and it's 10
Yeah.
minutes long. It's fucking amazing. The level of storytelling that so
Mm.
much is conveyed in that 10-15 minute short little
Yeah.
episode. Like a whole fucking saga is played out, and it is phenomenal. And like
Mm.
we need like I mean obviously it's perfect on its own, but like I
I
feel
hate.
like it's
Well, there were going to be sequels of it before they
yeah,
cancelled all short treks.
yeah,
But
cool.
I hate
That
to
would have
tell you,
been that would have been cool.
I don't think they're going to reference it at all. It will just be a hanging
Yeesh.
thread that is never picked up on.
Psh, psh. Yeah.
It's a good sound effect there for the doors opening in TOS.
Psh, psh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it. I wanted to talk about these first three episodes. Have you got anything else?
Um, I feel like I should mention some of the audiobooks that I've been listening to. I've got some
Yeah, go
recommendations
for it.
for you for Star Trek fans. Now, obviously, I listen to that are non-Star Trek books, right?
Mm-hmm.
Red Shirts, obviously.
Okay.
Um, there's a series that I'm listening to the third book, which kind of has a sequence in it that is very much um, very similar to Red Shirts, but is a lot more
Mm-hmm.
British. and silly.
British red
It's a
shirts.
lot more funny. It's very funny, and it's the third
Hmm.
book in Yahtzee Crawshaw's
Yeah.
"We'll Save the Galaxy for Food" series.
Hmm.
And it's called "We'll Leave the Galaxy for Good." It's "We'll
Hmm.
Leave the Galaxy for Good," but I make it rhyme with food, like the first book.
Food good.
Um,
Yeah.
there was another series. Have you watched? Have you seen? Um, there's a series, Slow Horses.
Yeah. Slow Horse is good.
Oh my
Apple
God.
TV.
Oh my God. Such a good show. And there was a book uh, that I finished, and I've completely forgotten the title. That's really doing my head in.
Even
Um,
slower horses.
no,
Small ponies.
basically it's like Slow Horses meets Star Trek. So it's the
Okay.
ship of intergalactic space police, where they
Hmm.
stick all the rejects, and it's called Endurance by AC Span.
Okay.
It's very good. It's very funny. Um, uh, I think that's it in terms of Star Trek like things.
Yeah. Some
Um,
sci-fi.
yeah, uh, in terms of anything, you know,
Hmm.
Galaxy Questy. Um,
I don't
yeah.
have any sci-fi recommendations at the moment, so you're beating me.
Oh, I've got so many sci-fi recommendations, but in terms of
Yeah.
Star Trek ones, I've got to like in the time between last recording and this one, those are the Star Trek like ones that I've enjoyed the most, and they've all been pastiches. They've all been comedy pastiches. It's hard to do
Yeah.
something like Star Trek and be serious
Yeah.
without it being Star Trek.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Cool. Excellent. Well, I don't have anything else.
Hmm.
I don't even have recommendations this week or anything like that. So it might be time for us to say our catchphrases if I can bloody remember mine.
Yeah, well, mine is "Live long and prosper, you motherfuckers."
And was mine peace and long life, double dumbasses?
Yes, it was. It always has been and
Yes,
always will
my
be.
memory.